Get it out! Everybody, welcome to the Ozone live from flaming hot Koreatown. I'm talking about 105 or so. It is the Ozone podcast, Unfair and Partial Sports, where we tell it how we think it is and how it should be. And we thought it should be the Cleveland Cavaliers as the world champions of the NBA.
Oh yeah, baby.
I mean, I think we could run the tape back. I'm thinking, the NBA playoffs take a solid year to get over with. So about a year ago, we predicted that the Cavs were going to win this game, and they were going to win it. Now we said 5 or 6. I said 6, and you said 5.
Yeah, I thought it would be 5.
And King James decided he wanted it to be 7.
He wanted to stretch it out. They wanted to let it marinate.
They wanted to really make it hurt. Because this one, the Bay is hurting right now.
Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding?
This is like this is a tectonic activity. This is like another earthquake.
Goodness.
I think the Bay Bridge might have collapsed last night. The bridge is over.
And
the bridge is over.
Right? And Draymond had to come out and give love.
Draymond gave love.
Spread love. He did
spread love. And let me tell you, Draymond Green showed up.
He showed up big time.
Bigger than the Splash Brothers, who laid an egg.
They splashed.
Belly flop twins. I'm very surprised, I have to say.
Too much cuteness in their game.
So let's speak on it. Let's get right into it and figure out what is going on with the series. Last time we spoke to you, I do believe, ladies and gents, the series was 3-1.
Yeah, and I was depressed. I was really down.
I was down.
Yeah.
I was down, I have to say. You know what? I took it to the roof a couple times.
Right.
I talked myself off the ledge.
Come down.
No, don't do it. Why? They're going to lose. And next thing you know, LeBron James woke up, as did the team. Let's talk about the team. Go ahead, how do you feel about it? Give us your take. I can tell you can't even wait. Get in at him, Icon. Go get him.
Now, J.R. Smith showed up, even though he gave me the waterworks after the game. Kyrie, he put on a clinic. That was a clinic.
He put on a clinic offensively and, more important, defensively.
Steph didn't know what hit him.
Steph looked like he looked confused. 14 points in Game 7.
He gave it to him.
Naked and afraid.
Come on, Triple X.
Full penetration. Wow.
Gave it to him.
Wow. Shout out to Dirty Sports. Yeah, so so you look at the situation. They go down 3-1. 3-1. That's a daunting task.
Right.
You know what? 0-2 was a daunting task. And they came back home and they got it together. Then they went in complacency mode. I would say the biggest criticism that I had and that I just couldn't understand is that, this is going to sound crazy. To me, LeBron James would have benefited in his life to grow up around brothers.
I believe that.
I think that, and anybody out there who has brothers, I think will agree with me and understands what I'm saying. He has the physical capabilities to totally and completely dominate any basketball contest.
Well, and last night he even spoke on that because
I was so impressed with his post game.
He said that I know that I can.
He said, "I know my capabilities.
Yeah, I know my capabilities." I've never heard him.
I've never heard him speak like that.
I was like, "Ooh,
yeah." He took it to the next level.
Dude's got 6 or 7 good years left in him.
Hey, man, you're gonna see LeBron James in more NBA Finals. Do
you think with Cleveland?
I don't know about 90, 50, 40 with Cleveland.
I feel like now you want to stay at the house. Now
you have to stay at the house. You know how much love it? I heard crazy talk last night. I heard blasphemous talk. Rob Fukuzaka on the local ABC News was like, LeBron James now in Cleveland is a god. I was like, whoa.
Wow.
Antichrist? LeBron is the Antichrist? Rob went too far, but there's a lot of people who feel exactly that way. He delivered something.
He was prophetic.
He delivered something. He said he was going to deliver. He came back home from the throes of paradise, also known as Miami Beach, and came back home to dreary Cleveland, Ohio, and balled
out
fully. Never in the history of the game has a player led the series in points, blocks, assists, rebounds for both teams.
Are you kidding?
That's
monster numbers.
That is
Can we close all the LeBron hate? Can we shut that chapter?
No, I'm sure the LeBron hate.
I'm sure that somebody's going to say that he's
right
done
now.
something wrong.
I don't know what you want from the dude, really. He came out last night. You know one thing I liked about his game last night, the Game 7?
What?
Let's go game by game. Game 5, I actually didn't think they were going to win in advance of the game. I didn't think they were going to win. But then there was no Draymond, and that's when, if we run back the tape, the icons, my brother and my co-host said, listen, you're crazy if you think that they don't win tonight.
That was a
crazy.
layup.
That's a layup. For one, with the assistance of the NBA, with maybe a bonus check cashed by Draymond Green. and then game 6, they went back home and it was total domination.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
but you
game
had
5
to know.
was 41-41 from Kyrie,
but you had
and
to know that he was going to dominate like that in game 6. You get to the house, man. Come on, you can't let anybody come to your house and stomp you out.
And he let Steph know that after he beat his shot up and gave him the crazy knee mug. Somebody told me he said, "Nice shoes, sucker." I don't know. I wasn't there.
Kiss the Converse?
He told him to kiss my Converse.
Show up.
Who is the master?
Show up.
Leroy! LeBron is the last dragon! LeBron's the last dragon! Yeah. You are the last dragon! I love the last dragon.
Yeah, nice joint.
So, game 5, he comes out. Him and Kyrie show their ass.
Oh, my goodness.
41
And
apiece.
that's what he needed last year, though. He just needed one compliment to his game, and he didn't get that last year.
Well, let's talk about it. Then game 6 was the romp. The romper room showed up. But what I saw in game 6, which was key, couple things. One, Andrew Bogut got hurt, and people don't understand.
Yeah,
nobody
huge.
speaks about because everybody's so in love with the little man game and
shooting all the threes and all the little cute passing
and ball handling and whatnot. Which is a skill set that's impressive and important. Nothing really is more important than the big man, especially when you're playing somebody like LeBron James.
Right.
With Andrew Bogut not being in the middle, the middle was wide open for LeBron to have his way.
LeBron is the biggest man out there.
Now he's the biggest guy out there. And he's not worried about getting hurt going to the rim. He's not worried about – he doesn't have to adjust his shots. You saw it in the first 4 or 5 games of the series. He would get to the rim and
had a hard time
finishing. And it was surprising.
Also,
but
a lot
Bogut
of
is 7'3".
He's a 7-footer,
He's a legit footer. And he doesn't get credit for his defense and for, rebounding and blah, blah, blah. So I think that happened. Now, going into Game 7, the thing that I saw that I really liked from King James was initially I saw the jitters from both sides. You could see everybody was tight. And the Warriors did what the Warriors do. They came out, their version of tight was we're jacking up shots.
Yeah.
And they hit a bunch of threes early, which I told.
But they wavered the storm.
They weathered the storm. They did weather the storm. But the thing the Cavs did that's what I was getting at is that King James, every time it felt like they were going to try to pull away, he was like, oh, you guys forgot. I'm to the rack.
You can't
I'm
stop
to the rack. And there's nothing that anybody can do because the Cavs were ice cold in the first half.
Yeah.
I mean, ice cold. But the other thing I was going for is that Kevin Love is getting no love right now.
He almost had a double-double.
Yo, man, my man was in the box.
Banging.
Come on. Triple X.
Banging.
He was banging in the box. He was down low. Kevin was down there doing what he did in Minnesota, which was just compile double-doubles at his leisure. And he was down there, and you know what? It caused Golden State to foul a lot.
They had to, though.
They have to. There's no 6'10". Answer. He's 6'10". And you got LeBron coming through, so if he misses the layup, Kevin is there for a tip in.
Nice.
Come on, man. And so,
but with LeBron's game last night, I sort of felt like at one point I was thinking he needs to more assert himself a little bit more. But then you looked at his numbers, and you're like, man, this dude's almost at triple-double already.
Hold on a second. We got a caller here. Let's hear it. Already. We got to have multiple callers on this one. Let's see what's good.
Yeah.
Laker Quick, you are live on the OZone.
Whoa.
So we're wrapping it up here. This is an NBA wrap-up edition of the OZone. And so we have to talk to our chief NBA correspondent, Laker Quick, from the throes of the hot and sticky peach state of Georgia. Talk to me about what happened in this series.
How you like me now?
If you can get off the tarmac. What's going on over there? You sound like I caught you.
You're about to take flight. You're heading out to that parade.
You sound like you're heading to Cleveland for the parade. Talk to me.
Oh, it's all good. Basically, what happened is they lost Andrew Bogut. And, for uninitiated casual basketball fans that want to believe in this 21st century of small ball, the big man is still critical.
Preach on it, son.
Basically, they lost the big man. And they lost their prime defender of the basket, and you can kind of end the conversation right there. But what else is slept on is, Steph Curry and Clay were under hella pressure beyond the three-point line because, when Cleveland would switch and rotate, out there and be on the three-point line. Typically, at some point, there would be a mismatch where a guard or somebody small would end up on Bogut, and Bogut would basically run towards the basket. And you can just lob the ball underneath. This is any team.
Absolutely. We saw this in the first 4 games.
Yeah, well, and hence LeBron James' D looking confused because he has no confidence in his jump shot, just like he had no confidence in his shots in the last 4 minutes last night. And basically, they're D. They're on their way to losing 4-1. So you sit Draymond Green down so you can extend the series, and then the best case scenario for the NBA and LeBron takes place where the big man goes down. And that's pretty much that.
I mean, that's a pretty quick and clear synopsis.
Right.
I hear some Aisha Curry in your talk here. I hear, and I've heard it for years. And if you remember, the Icons, for those who don't know, the Icons and Laker Quick have a long-standing history, a lifelong history.
Yes, we do.
Actually. And a long-standing history where the Icons boycotted the NBA until the finals, say for the past 10 years or so.
Yeah.
And because of
theater.
Because of the theater of the NBA. I'm going to read you something, Laker Quick. With the LeBron James-led Cavs' 100th playoff win, the 8 o'clock to 10:40 p.m. Game 7 from the Bay Area drew 30.8 million viewers, with an 11.2 rating amongst adults 18 to 49. That's 17% up from the 26.2 million that the last NBA Finals Game 7 scored back in 2013 when the James-led Miami Heat beat the San Antonio Spurs. Last night's game is the most watched telecast on TV this year after the Super Bowl and the Academy Awards and Season 2's premiere of Ballers. So sorry, didn't say that.
I'm kind of surprised that many people watch the Oscars, but I guess it's another combo.
Right?
Yeah, it's worldwide. Again, all the worldwide stuff is always, putting up dumb numbers. Now,
Right.
Now, are we looking at a situation where the NBA will make sure that we get part 3 of this trilogy next year? Is what my question is.
This is what is so frustrating about the whole damn thing is that now, I mean, the NBA loves its storylines, and we can argue back and forth of where the storyline crosses into true theater, a la WWE, or it's just a storyline. But knowing what we've seen over the last 20-something years, I'd say about 20 years in the league.
About 20 years. It happened like right around 95, 96?
Yeah. When the end of the road was ahead for Mike, and, they were trying to do everything they can to keep Shaquille O'Neal from winning 15 championships in a row. Anywho, there's no reason for us to think that they're not going to have the rubber match next year. And
well, we know LeBron will be there.
LeBron will be there. And this is what, unfortunately,
unless Hassan Whiteside decides that he's Hassan Whiteside, by the way. Side note.
Keep that Heat team together.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
If I was Kevin Durant, I would go to Miami.
They really don't need him.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
If Kevin Durant, Dwayne Wade, and Hassan Whiteside will blow out anybody we watch this year.
Yeah.
They'll crush LeBron. And this is kind of,
Hey, dude, you need to shut down with that attitude about LeBron, man. That's
you got to show the man some respect.
You got to give him respect.
The numbers are retarded.
Are you kidding?
I give him a little respect, bro.
No, a little. Are you crazy?
He
just made history, and you gonna give him a little respect.
Laker Quick.
I'm a Western Conference veteran, dude. I'm not impressed by you beating sub 500 teams consistently.
Well, you just beat the best team that they call in history. Last night came back.
27, 11, 11.
I don't know any. Very few knowledgeable fans. Very few OZone aficionados, I think, would be duped into crowning Golden State as one of the best
I'm just
teams
telling
ever.
you what the professionals are saying out there. They're saying that this was the best team in history, which I don't agree with. I will never go down in history saying a team that shoots 20,000 jumpers a game is the best team in history. Where is your big man?
Here's the thing, though. If Bogut doesn't go down, then they beat Cleveland in 5
I don't believe
games.
that either, though.
The Ozone continues.
Bron is the man.
I mean, quick. This one's hard to argue, though. These numbers are hard to argue. He led the league. He led the series in points, rebounds, assists, and blocks for both teams.
And what did he lead in the last 5 minutes of last night's game, other than missed shots?
Turnovers.
Yeah, but
there you go.
But he finished the game off.
But you know what else he did?
Yeah,
he led the league in that big block That block was the shining.
Great, but you know what?
And
Once
a triple-double.
Though, the great
Triple-dub in Game 7. Laker quick triple-dub in Game 7. I can't front on him.
Did not give me a triple-dub.
I can't front on him.
Come on now.
The first great play of that game, that play, the key part of that play was whoever that was, who I can't remember off the top of my head.
J.R. Smith?
Defended the shot. Yeah, who defended the shot was out fouling and made Iguodala change his shot, and then basically it was cake for LeBron to make the shot.
No, but he had to still, come on, man. He could have kissed the top of the backboard right there. I mean, don't, like it quick.
Clutch down the stretch, bro. Look very
you can say it however you want to say it, yet at the same time, you can't. I don't know how you trying to front on these numbers right now. I mean, Laker quick. I understand the lack of belief in his, the lack of belief in his jumper, but at the same time, you just can't front on these.
Dude's a great
numbers.
Player, man. Don't get me wrong. He's a future Hall of Famer and all of that, man. But I believe in clutch, man. Clutch is, you can't even.
Clutch is that big block.
Yeah, clutch is that big block, and nobody had it together last night. It was 89 for like 3 or 4 minutes.
And now I want to speak on this real quick. Let's talk about how the idea, and now I'm going to say this off the top because I catch a lot of people hollering at me about the OZone where they think that I'm anti-Warriors or anti-Steph, and I'm not. I want to go on record saying that. The brother seems like a very solid, God-fearing man that is also an excellent basketball player. I just believe, as Laker Quick pointed out before, that he has some inefficiencies that, in my opinion, finally got exposed. They got exposed in the OKC series, and they finally were taken advantage of in this series. Said insufficiencies. I was about to say, on the low, he's got slow feet, so that makes him have to reach on defense
all the time.
And if you watch the replays, he's fouling every play.
He could foul out before halftime.
He could foul out before halftime if he wasn't a superstar. Right. Even though I did not agree with them fouling him out at the end of that Game 6.
Yeah,
personally.
Yeah,
but it didn't matter because he couldn't hit a jumper because I believe that he may be about 160 soaking wet. And the thing is since you play 186 games in the NBA, if you actually make it to the finals in a calendar year, now you're talking about 2 years, which really this thing I'm about to say only goes to support how awesome I think LeBron James is. You're talking about 2 years, Steph goes all the way to the end of the finals. As of the last series, you started to really see him wear down. All of the video game numbers and all this, that, and the other, all of those magical plays. He really cost them last night in a key situation at the in the fourth quarter when he decided to make a cute behind the back pass to Klay Thompson for no reason. He could have just passed the ball to him. That was ridiculous.
Completely uncalled for.
Totally uncalled for. Just
the guy's 5 feet away from you.
Razzle dazzle for no reason. And Klay looked at him like,
"Are you sure?
Are you? Why did you do that? Are you on the take?" And so. What I was saying is that you saw the smaller man wear down because basketball, despite what people think, is a full contact sport.
Right. And made for the big man.
So you saw the smaller guy wear down, and then you saw superior athletes physically take it to him, which made the 40 and 50-foot shot that everybody that likes to fantasize about themselves doing stop falling. Like your weak-ass jumper does not hit at the park. His jumper didn't hit in the finals because he was ran down. And I'm not talking about your jumper, Laker Quick. I know your jumper stays wet. And it's quick release.
But riddle me this. Is Steph Curry tired because perhaps, lack of size or conditioning, or the fact that he plays in the NBA's version of the major leagues, which is the Western Conference? Meanwhile, LeBron James spends all year beating the likes of the fucking Charlotte Bobcats and other lame teams that, I'm sorry, I don't find myself overly impressed with.
You almost Bobcats actually were nice.
Exactly, and you almost
this is my point.
Yeah, but you have to play
He's
half of those games.
He's playing in AA. Meanwhile, when you're in the West, you go on a road trip and see Dallas, Houston, Memphis, and San Antonio.
Quick,
and you're in the division.
I'm going to answer the riddle here because I can't roll, and this is why. Steph was playing like 30 minutes a game, dude. Right. Steph was only playing like 3/4 of each game this year.
He didn't even play defense then.
And he wasn't playing defense back then, by the way. So
look, don't get it twisted, man. I think I said at the beginning of the year, before Golden State went out and won 73 games, I thought this was LeBron's year.
I remember that. I remember you said that early in the infancy of the Ozone's official broadcast.
Was going to go 75-7 with the motivation of what happened last year in the championship, the weak Eastern Conference. I was shocked that Cleveland didn't win 60 games, and I had no choice but to assume that Golden State would beat them come the championship. The Cavs were my pick to win it at the beginning of the season. I jumped ship. I'm not going to try to retroactively jump back on the bandwagon. Golden State made me a believer finally.
They didn't make me a believer.
I never bought in.
Because you know why? I mean, I felt like the Thunder had the chance to finally expose that sort of ball. And they fell apart.
The Thunder lost that series.
Hey, listen, you let Draymond Green kick you in the balls, and you won't be able to win either.
Yeah, that's true too.
So, Laker Quick, we're not going to take your whole day. Always happy to have you. We got a great matchup for you tonight because we know you are a LA sports aficionado. Give me your prediction on.
Have to talk about it.
Give me your prediction. Give me your prediction on Clayton Kershaw, the GOAT in the Ozone's opinion. I speak for everybody here. Arguably, I mean, the greatest of this era easily. Arguably, I mean, you're talking. I'm watching Clayton Kershaw do stuff I can't even believe.
Even Pedro's saying it.
Come on, man.
The dude is throwing nothing but strikes, and you can't do a damn thing.
And you can't hit him still.
Yeah.
Anyway,
guess what? I'm throwing strikes. You're not gonna walk. And you ain't getting anything.
You just in trouble. I might give you 2 if I'm feeling generous. Now
I'm glad they invented this whip stat just so you can have more superlatives on Clayton Kershaw.
That's a good point. Give me your prediction tonight. Nationals versus Kershaw and the Dodgers at Chavez Ravine. It is burning up out here. By the way,
it is 2-0 Dodgers, man. It's going to be close. It's going to be great. I think this actually could be one of those games. It's going to be crazy hot at the stadium.
Crazy hot. I'm talking this 105. Quick. It's burning.
And Clayton Kershaw being a Texas native and being with the Dodgers his whole career, I think he's going to thrive in that heat. I see him going 8 when perhaps Strasburg goes 7. And I think that key extra word that Clayton gives is going to allow the Dodgers to score a run late. That'll win the game. I'm looking at 2-0, maybe 2-1 Dodgers.
All right. Laker Quick, always a pleasure to have you.
To the Cueto game 2 weeks ago.
Always a pleasure to have you, Laker Quick. We respect and appreciate your opinion, and we love everything that you stand for. If you were to win an NBA championship, we would call you No, I'm going too far. So listen, I was just joking around because you know what? Last night I watched on ABC News Channel 7, Rob Fukuzaka just said that LeBron James was a god. I was like, whoa, the blasphemy, the sacrilege is over the top. I can't stop mentioning it. It really blows my mind.
Yeah, God's clutch up too, by the way.
Say it again?
I say God's clutch up too, by the way.
Laker Quick, always good to have you. All right, see you soon.
Doubt.
Late. Peace.
All right, brethren. Have a blessed day.
You too.
Always a pleasure to have Laker Quick on. Oh, yeah. Always a pleasure. You know what else is a pleasure?
What?
To be a member of the 5-4 Club.
Heard.
Oh, my goodness. It's 105 out right now. You know what you need. You need some nice shorts, nice button down, maybe even an ascot. If you go to 54club.com, you can get a curated package of clothes that's worth $150 or more for only $60 a month. And I got a promo code for you.
Do you?
I do. It's Omar. Nice and simple. Type in Omar. You're going to get some money off of your first couple months, and you're going to be styling in no time. All right? Self-curated. Actually, self-influenced, professionally curated. Yeah. Pop your collar twice. How about that, Laker Quick?
Right,
oh, man.
Right. And you know what? As much as I love Clayton Kershaw, they might have his kryptonite on that team tonight, and that is Daniel Murphy.
Daniel Murphy.
And all they need is one run with Steven Strasburg. They have a better team than the Dodgers.
They do. But the Nationals, as I found out by losing some money yesterday, are not playing good baseball right now.
What about the Dodgers?
The Dodgers struggled to get by Milwaukee.
Are you kidding? You're talking about it.
You get killed walking your doggy. That's from the movie Heat, if anybody wanted to know. I just want to go in and continue what we're talking about on this NBA wrap up, just in case you didn't hear it. Let's hear how dreams are made.
Got to go 2 years. When I came back, ship to the city, I gave everything that I had. I poured my heart, my blood, my sweat, my tears to this game, and against all odds, I don't know why we want to take the hardest road, why the man above gives me the hardest road, but it's nothing the man above don't put you in situations that you can't handle. And I just kept that same positive attitude. Like, instead of saying, why me, they're saying this is what he want me to do. And Cleveland, this is for you.
Hulk Hogan, I'm coming for you. Oh, shout out to Booker T. You know, I think LeBron James, after he wins a couple more championships, will have a career as a motivational speaker.
Right. But tell me this, why is that Laker Quick still has a problem with LeBron?
Everybody is in the same boat. Not everybody, but it's true. That I don't know what this man can do for everybody. He beats who's in front of him. Last year, he almost single-handedly beat this team that he just beat last night. And somehow or another, it is just plain
not
and
his
simply
fault that Andrew Bogut got hurt.
Just like last year, it wasn't Steph and M's fault that Kyrie and Kevin Love got hurt.
Exactly.
We have a longtime OZone collaborator, supporter, and he's actually CEO of 5-4, who put out something really special with a picture of King James, and he said, "I don't ever want to hear about this ever again." King James is the greatest athlete we have ever been able to witness. The weight on this man's shoulders is like nothing you or I could ever imagine. If you've ever walked the streets of Ohio, you would know what this guy means to so many people. He was the chosen one for them for a reason. Believe land. Wow.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable how you can find fault or dissect his game last night. The guy put up a triple-double.
Triple-dub.
He broke, he set a record. He made history, and all people can, not all people, but a few people are still finding fault in his game.
I just don't know what he can do.
I don't know.
I mean, can he bake them a cake? What can he do?
I don't think it would be enough. What kind? What flavor?
I'm thinking chocolate. That's the variety that LeBron serves up.
I want a mousse.
We got another caller here. This is a hotline today. We got another caller on the OZone Live. Somebody who predicted at 3-1 that the Cavs would come back and win the series. He should have put some money on it. We haven't heard from him in a long time because he was a loose caller before, but he's trying to redeem himself. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Next Victim.
Oh.
Welcome back, baby.
Welcome back, Carter. What's going on here?
Just still amped up off the Cleveland energy.
I felt it through the TV. That's how strong it was. I felt it all the way up from the bay down here. It was seismic.
Yes, it was epic. It was something that was needed for LeBron legacy for most haters.
And this is what we're speaking. Speak on it, brother. Speak on it. We're speaking on it right now. Laker Quick just called in, and he gave some backhanded love to LeBron, really. He kind of backhanded compliment.
I mean, if he's got to get the championship, you got to give it to somebody.
It's like this. I talked to a guy earlier today, and he said pretty much, yeah, he did his thing. But I have to find something about LeBron that I don't like. I'm like, come on, man. This dude's been carrying himself well since junior high school. It's like, come on.
Crazy pressure.
He can't do nothing else.
That's what we just said. What else can he give you? He led the series in points, rebounds, assists, and steals.
Both teams.
That's incredible.
It's unbelievable.
Okay. And then they try to throw in, he had the most turnovers.
I saw that.
Okay. He's getting double teamed. He's getting it.
And fouled most of the time.
State got away with so much illegal defense during that series.
Yeah, and they have to because they don't have the athleticism that the Cavs have. Just on the athlete-to-athlete tip. If you go position by position, they only have the advantage at, I would say, athletically, maybe at Kevin Love's position. Outside of that, everybody else is more athletic. Now, I want to speak with you about something, Next Victim, that I really believe that you hit spot on, and you and I were on the same exact page. Really, the undercover MVP of this series is Richard Jefferson.
Yeah.
Richard Jefferson. Okay, and I've evaluated myself. I evaluated the game.
Evaluate. Speak on it.
LeBron is not that vocal leader on camera during the game. He may do it in the locker room, but during the game.
Are you sending a fax right now, Next Victim?
This is the new millennium, dude.
Let me tell you something. The next victim is so hyped up, he jumped into the fiber optic cables
and went Matrix.
The next victim just went Matrix on us. All right. Here we go. Neo, are you out of the Matrix? You went fiber optic on us. Johnny Mnemonic. What happened?
I went to Oakley right quick.
You're back.
So speak on it. Go ahead. We caught you at the beginning, which was you evaluated LeBron's not the vocal leader that we see, but go ahead from there, please.
Man, this guy has been under the microscope. So any little thing that he has to say on camera or during the game is just going to be exposed. So you can't be that type of person, during the game to be vocal and say some, get your ass over there.
Yeah, so, you're right.
Or slap people around.
Which is Richard Jefferson. Richard Jefferson was in Kevin Love's side. He was in J.R. Smith's side.
Yep.
And
he was motivating
Tristan
these dudes.
Was likewise in both Kevin Love and J.R. Smith's side. So, Brown must have went to the locker room and everybody, all his teammates, never had anything negative to say about Brown. So, with knowing that he has all this pressure on him and under the microscope, he could have hit them on text or, anything. It's like, look, I need for you to holler at these two. I'm giving you 40 in 48 minutes. I need you, Richard Jefferson and Tristan Thompson, to tell these dudes to do this and to do that. I don't care if it's on camera.
Yeah.
But LeBron can't do that type of stuff on camera.
Well, one thing that he said, even after the whole Game 4 situation where they called him a bitch, which seemed to wake him up, one thing that he said was, it's really hard to always take the high road. He said, but I'm going to take the high road again, and blah, blah, blah. And I think it just goes to support what you're saying, because I actually never thought of it that way. This kid, they flashed up all those the Sports Illustrated covers when he was a junior high guy. Right. I mean, that's a ton of pressure, especially before the dough is together.
Right.
Now you're just doing it because that's like, the Harold Miner syndrome. Yeah. You're doing it because you're supposed to be doing it, and that's a lot of weight to wear. And he wore it, man. This guy wore it. And, I mean, this isn't like it's his first ring. This is his third ring in his 6th straight final appearance.
3 MVPs.
Oh, man.
He's the real MVP.
Yeah.
That dude is one of the GOATs.
He's one of the GOATs.
He's one of the GOATs in the farms in the NBA.
Yeah.
I just think that people have a hard time accepting the way that he plays. His style, is new. It's more of a combination of Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, and who else could you throw in there?
I would throw in possibly James Worthy or Horace Grant or somebody down low.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that when he's most effective when he's on the block.
Yeah.
He punished Steph Curry when they thought that Steph Curry was going to guard him at the perimeter, and he punished that man with his extra 100 pounds.
With the conversation that I had with some folks, Cousin Kev is one of them, but not calling out names. What happened is that when they started coming off the screen, they were getting the mismatch. They do the double screen with Draymond Green, and J.R. Smith would rub off, or Tyree would rub off with Steph Curry. Now you got, after the screen, now is LeBron is coming off hard. Steph Curry was getting away with so many ticky-tack fouls before the series. When LeBron started putting his shoulder down and hit that corner like Barkley, they was calling the blocking fouls on who? Curry. So now it's like he took so much punishment. But then it's a catch-22 that they always say about LeBron. He sells for too many jumpers. He should go down to the paint. He doesn't have a good signature move. Okay. He put out plenty of signature moves this series.
I mean,
and it's all on speed ahead. I mean, that dude almost broke his damn hand trying to throw the ball down on that thing.
He tried to give you the exclamation point, huh?
He tried to give it.
Yeah, but that's what he's supposed to do. He's trying to wrap this series up. He wants to demoralize those guys at that point.
And that happens from you get tired. It's just like Shaq Diesel. Shaq Diesel was getting held and punished and punished. So eventually, what you gonna do? You just go step out and shoot the three. What you busy though? You get tired of being pounded and pounded and pounded.
Truth. So you do, and the other side is, and then suddenly, and suddenly the pounding stopped because Andrew Bogut wasn't there,
right?
And they got exposed for the fouling that they did. You know, one thing that I thought was a telling image was when Draymond came up and gave LeBron respect after the game, which was a classy move on his part. Hey, for one, Draymond Green had a monster Game 7. Nobody's talking about it because it's lost in the shadows of the loss.
Right.
On the low, Draymond Green's numbers might have been better than LeBron's. Wait, his numbers. He almost had a triple-dub with 30 points.
Yeah, but LeBron's
jumper was wet.
Steals.
No, don't say it. Draymond balled last night. There was nothing else Draymond could do.
No.
You can't get less than 30 total combined from the Splash Brothers. You just can't. You just can't.
Power forward.
Yeah, playing power forward, he gave you 30 and almost triple-dub. He did his part. Them boys let him down up there. But on the other side, what I was going to say is that the telling image was when he came up and he gave him love, LeBron looked like he was like 5-6 inches taller than him.
He sure did.
And a good 30, 40 pounds bigger than him. How is he supposed to guard him at any point?
Yeah.
And again, finally it looked like Tyronn Lue went over the footage in the OKC series and saw that the man switch gave Golden State problems if you have big men who can defend the perimeter. And Tristan Thompson just got all of his he deserves a full payment for his $85 million deal.
Right.
For the work that he put in between games 4 and game 7, really games 5, 6, and 7 of this series. Because he put in work last night.
Footwork.
Good, tremendous footwork.
Yeah, but
and was a monster on the boards.
Why do you think Timofey didn't get any burn?
I
think it's personal.
Okay, it's like great game. It's like, but now Golden State was forced to play what type of ball? Big man ball.
And they aren't equipped for that.
Ain't working.
Yeah, but
that little man shit didn't work last year. It's just LeBron didn't have
It's the only reason it didn't. It's the only reason it worked last year. And it's the only reason. Now, what the question of the day is the NBA going to manufacture it so we get part 3 of this trilogy?
You know what, though? But what about OKC next year? They're just a piece away from just going over the top.
But they're also a piece away from falling apart if Kevin Durant leaves.
Yeah. I think that they said he's going to stay for 1 year.
I don't think anyone on these teams are going to leave.
I agree. I think that this was a great competition round robin. I think that OKC is at the crib or at their exotic Caribbean vacation right now. All of them thinking to themselves, we could have won this whole thing.
Yeah.
Because really, I think OKC posed a bigger threat than
everybody.
To everybody. Really, they were a serious team in there.
They have the best players.
They have the best combination of players, I think. But, even though
mentally they're just not there. I don't think
they'll
be
need
able to do
somebody who's won. They need a piece. Like they need to get like Tristan Thompson. They need to get somebody who's won and knows how to win and close out.
Yeah, but even
they need that KG veteran.
They need that KG veteran.
Yeah, but would you be able to get Westbrook on board with that? Because Westbrook is like
you are like everybody else is with LeBron James, you are with Russell Westbrook. Because Russell Westbrook has turned the corner. Russell Westbrook's numbers are stupid.
Yeah, but
stop fronting on Russell Westbrook,
but
man.
Let me see him win the big one, because in Game 7, what he did.
See, any of these young kids, anybody ever, except for Magic Johnson, win the big one early. Well, nobody wins the big one early.
But the big thing with Westbrook is that Westbrook goes one-on-one. You can't go one-on-one.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to tell you is Westbrook is still like 23, 24, dude.
He's older.
So
I tell you guys,
none of these guys ever win early in any sport, except for you have a handful of dudes. Derek Jeter comes in and wins.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson comes in and wins. Give me somebody else. I'm trying to think of who else comes in and wins right off the top in the team sport. Nobody does it. You have to learn how to win.
I tell you like this, Westbrook is what LeBron used to be.
I agree. Yes. I agree.
Westbrook ain't.
I agree.
Whatever.
Whatever. Oh, let me finish. LeBron when he came into the league, he came into a system that has never won. Westbrook came into a system that has never won. Okay? Then LeBron goes to Miami. He gets linked up with who?
Pat Riley.
Right. Westbrook has never had that.
Nope. And just like, I'll go as far as to say, even O'Neal, even the Diesel needed to go and learn how to win.
Everybody, and I live by that. But the problem is that I'm going by the mentality of a Russell Westbrook who wants well, let me put it the right way, who will not give in to the team concept.
I disagree. In that series against you didn't watch that series against Golden State apparently.
I watched it.
He was all for the team.
But what about Game 7?
Even to the point where he deferred to who's your favorite, who's supposed to be the superstar, which is Kevin Durant, and he watched Kevin Durant go 1 for 7, 1 for 8 in the fourth quarter, all those games.
You're supposed to live with that.
Well, then be quiet.
No.
Because you have to live with that if that's what you want from Russell Westbrook.
What I want him to do is not go one-on-one with Steph Curry at the end of the games and lose.
Well,
because
if that's the case, you didn't want Kyrie Irving to go one-on-one then either.
No, because
you can't get that glory without taking the risk.
They have a different team, though. They have a different team because
nasty victim. He's making up the rules as he goes.
If he kicks the ball to Steven Adams like he was doing earlier in the series, then the series is over.
How about this? Steven Adams is never going to be the guy to win you the game in the last minute.
He is if he's wide open.
No, he's not. That's not his job.
It's a layup.
That's not his
job.
Layup. That's not his job. Now, one thing I will say that I do appreciate about Steph Curry is on yesterday's work is that the game came down to the end. Steph Curry told everybody in the world he was taking that shot. He didn't care how many times he had to go through the legs, behind the back, shimmy shake. Yeah, he didn't care if the whole team was open at the three-point line. He hit the boogaloo, the crip walk. He did everything else. He hit 5 head fakes on Kevin Love, and then finally got his shot off. And I missed it. Now what? I'm the guy. So I'm supposed to be the guy that misses the shot. And so when I was watching the game, I told moms, I was like, you know what? Draymond was on fire early. I will live with Draymond beating me because he's not going to be the guy that beats me. But what you're saying along that lines is that something happened. You just want Westbrook to submit to your will for some reason.
I want Westbrook to pass the ball.
He does. You didn't watch these last two series.
He did, but in Game 7, he did not do that. He went
that's
one-on-one.
One game.
But that's a big game. Game 7's a big game.
Yes, and nobody's taught him how to win. So when you stop riding this dude, the same thing you're talking about with LeBron, you're being unrealistic about with this.
And they're not in the same category. They're not even in the same planet. Westbrook and LeBron James.
Whatever, dude.
Are you crazy? You know what?
OZone. He's never had the foundation to learn how to win except in UCLA.
That's it.
That was for 2 years.
Except UCLA? I mean, UCLA is a nice place to learn how to win.
Yeah, but what are you talking about? That's every level you have to learn how to win.
Let me tell you guys something. LeBron James and Russell Westbrook are not in the same conversation. We're talking about one of the best players of all time, and Russell Westbrook is not there.
No, he's not there yet, but neither was LeBron James when everybody was touting him to be when he was on Sports Illustrated at 16. Neither was Bryce Harper when Bryce Harper was on Sports Illustrated cover at the age of 16. You're making a double standard here, and you've always had a problem with Russell Westbrook, and I don't know why. I really don't know why.
Doesn't play the game the right way.
Whatever, man. You full of shit with that because
you just said it. You just said it.
What you say?
I said you are full of shit with that. It's stinky boo boo.
Yeah.
But it's like Westbrook has not had that foundation. He's never won. He's not
won.
And he's not going to win if he doesn't change his game.
No, I don't agree with that.
It's not on him.
It's not on. Man, don't even get hyped up with this fool. Next victim. It's good having you on. He's just trying to cause confusion because he can finally tout LeBron James.
Yeah, that's right.
And the thing is,
what did I tell you 5 years ago when I read those stats to all of you bums? I told you guys this dude is the best in history. His numbers are better than everybody. What are they going to say about him when
he's
he breaks?
Not the best in history.
What are they going to say about? What are they going to say about him?
You're talking stupid.
What are they going to say? What are they going to say?
For being one of the GOATs.
What are they going to say when he breaks Kareem's all-time scoring record, which is highly possible?
Very, very possible.
No, dude.
Whatever.
Unreal.
Whatever to all that. But you calling him the greatest ever now is out of line.
Only person that he's not better than is Wilt Chamberlain.
You're crazy. You're telling me, and I know that you're lying just to spark up a conversation.
No.
You're telling me
better Magic Johnson
that you would rather have LeBron James and Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
You are out of your mind. Somebody get a medic in here because you know from losing your own money that if you bet against Magic Johnson in a big situation, you are going to lose. And you can count on that.
I can confirm nor deny.
Yeah, okay. All right. That's all I needed. Next victim, I'm glad to have you. You're back on the OZone, brother. Happy to have you back with a very strong prophetic prediction after the low of the low in the finals. You came through at 3-1. Jacob, you have a great day. Enjoy this LA Heat.
right,
We
now.
talk to you soon. This is a spirited edition of the Ozone. Wow.
I'm
you are feeling it. Yeah, and you should. King James did his work.
Smash everybody's face in it. Ugh.
Everybody has to eat humble pie right now. Everybody. I mean, this is the stuff that he's doing. Forget about it.
I've been singing the praises of LeBron James for many of moons.
You have. You really have.
And
but even those stats, though, that you read were wrong that time because Kevin Durant at that time had more game-winning shots than both Kobe Bryant and LeBron James.
No, not at that time.
Yes, at that time.
No, that was, 5
maybe
years
not
ago?
now, but yeah.
No.
Yeah. You can look it up. And he might still have more game-winning shots now, to be honest. I'm
Does he
not
have
saying
more
I'd
rings?
rather take him. I'm not saying
he have
that.
more rings?
I'm not saying he does not. He does not.
And does he have more points?
I don't know what he has.
No, he does not.
I don't know what he says.
He does not have more points.
But I know that King James is somewhere in Cleveland right now, living the fruits of his work. I mean, I love what LeBron James has done to really encourage youngsters to work hard. It's just what I mean.
And he's a good guy on and off.
I don't know him like that, so I can't say what he does in his private life. But what I can say is that from what I've seen, I'm very impressed, and I'm very happy to have him as the ambassador of a champion.
Right.
Because he is a champion. Yeah, I'm really.
And he could jump out of pocket a lot of times with the way that the league treats him, and
he sure could, and he doesn't. He takes the high road.
Even last night
they really jump ship. The league jump shipped on him once Golden State emerged.
Right.
They really did.
Right.
And you could tell that it really rubbed him the wrong way.
And it should have.
And it should have. I'm with Laker Quick on this one, though, because he should have just came out and said it.
Yeah, he should have said it.
He didn't need to go into that whole 90, 50, 40. He should have just came out and been like, look.
Are you kidding?
73-9 is incredible. I'm still the best player in the world. And when the playoffs start, y'all going to see what time it is.
Well, and the MVP is not even about being the best player. It's the most valuable player for the team.
And for the league. And that's why he said it like that. But
Yeah.
it came off like half committed to the saltiness. And I think he has the weight. He's earned the weight even before this championship by carrying the league to say, listen, don't sleep. I'm still playing. There's a guy in Akron that's still better than everybody else.
Exactly. Now, if you take Kyrie Irving out of that lineup, you can still win. If you take out
I don't know about that.
He almost beat them by himself last year. But if you take LeBron James off of that team,
they're not even
500.
They're not even a 500 team. They're not even a 500
Just like
team.
you take Draymond Green off of the Golden State Warriors, and they're not the same team.
I agree with that fully. It's going to be interesting because they're talking about Kevin Durant potentially going to Golden State.
Well, now they're talking about this sort of backing off of that, but they said that they're going to make some big changes coming up to owners now.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. They're about to be aggressive in the summer.
And they got big money, and they're moving to the city. They're moving to San Francisco.
Yeah, but they're talking about Kevin Durant doing a 1-year deal because that
that crazy money
is on its way.
It's visible.
Mm-hmm. And so I don't blame him. I wouldn't sign for it. Why would you do that?
Have you ever been on a private jet?
No, I haven't.
Wow. It's an incredible experience. Go over to jetsmarter.com, and for a nominal fee of about $1,200 a month, you can fly private, unlimited, to the hottest spots in the United States and even some abroad.
Wow.
We're talking it's like an Uber for the sky thing. Go to jetsmarter.com, tell them Big O sent you, give them a call, and they'll take care of you over there.
They have an app for that?
It is an app. I don't even think you can go to the site. They have an app.
Wow.
Yeah, JetSmarter. It's kind of crazy. Moving on. I mean, I don't even know if you can move on past the NBA.
It's unbelievable.
But I just want to speak on something that's a bit darker in nature. And it is this despicable rape culture on the college campus.
Sick.
What is going on in the United States?
But it's been going on forever, though. And, these guys have been getting away with it. Now with cameras, social media, and everything else, a lot of these guys are getting caught, just by being a little bit more, spotlight on the situation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're saying that between 10 and 29% of women have been victims of rape or attempted rape since starting college. And more than 90% of them go unreported.
And it's usually by someone that they know.
Of course. It's usually a date rape scenario or something like that. And I think that's what has created this culture of them, not wanting to report because it's like, he's the star of the team, or maybe I didn't say no, or, it's a very disturbing thing. I'm looking at this case out in Tennessee, this former Vanderbilt football player.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's
This
ridiculous.
guy, Brandon Vandenberg, carried an unconscious girl that he was dating.
I saw the video footage.
Yeah, and he carries her from the car to his dorm room, calls up a bunch of other knuckleheads to come rape and piss on her over like a 4-hour period.
And then take her back out and drop her on the lawn, right?
And then show her video of it afterwards.
What's ridiculous is why would you do that?
This is what I'm saying.
Especially as a superstar athlete or any kind of athlete, any kind of man.
Especially as a human. What makes you... How are you different from the terrorists that they try to sell us in ISIS? You know,
right.
How are you different from a lot of these?
You're a person of bad character.
You really need to evaluate what you are and stand for, because why would you want to do that? Why would you, a couple things. Why would you call the homies and be like, yo, it's going down? And then if you get that call,
as the homie, what would you say? What the hell are you calling me for?
And why would I come over for that?
Yeah. I need to call in on you.
I need to call in on you because you are a menace to society.
Come on, dude.
And now this guy is looking at 25 years, and he didn't participate in the rape directly, but he did. And he's got convicted of rape as an acquaintance. What is it? An accomplice, basically.
Accomplice.
And you look at this and you juxtapose that to this old boy network that's been going on up in Stanford at this trial for this idiot
ridiculous.
That raped a girl that was unconscious in broad daylight, the swimmer kid.
Right.
In broad daylight behind a dumpster, and then got 6 months.
And the parents are acting like he got the raw deal.
Unbelievable.
Like, are you kidding? You giving my son 6 months?
Things aren't going to work well for him in prison. You should know that. It's going to affect who he is as a person.
Hello. That's what
where are we in America as a culture where this conversation even needs to be had? And you're talking about people who are in prison now for life for selling marijuana in states where it's now legal.
Right. And you're talking about somebody who imposes their will or gets a person intoxicated or passive.
By design. Or stumbles upon them intoxicated or out of their mind.
And, hey, let me take advantage of this person. Who does that? What kind of person are you?
This is the problem. A lot of people do that.
That's terrible.
And then
what about the judge?
That's what I was going to say. And then you have the flip side of that, which is you have them being protected in a lot of ways.
Right.
Which then in turn ends up, making victims then say, really, it just messes the game up in life, because what happens is it's a vicious cycle. What happens is then you have the victim who says, wow, if they only get 6 months for this, the last thing I need is to be humiliated as the girl who got raped or accuse somebody of rape, because it's not even worth it.
Right.
So then that causes a cycle of their future self-doubt and self-identity crisis and self-hate and sexuality confusion and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah for their future relationships. You have a system that coddles these people, which then reinforces the idea that you can do it, that it's something that you can do and get away for. And yet, at the same time, I could not remember this. It's funny how the connections in the mind work, because in my mind, all I could think about was how all of the news agencies tried to connect that kid Mike Brown that got killed out in Ferguson with the fact that he stole those cigarillos from that liquor store.
And that was
justification for him to be killed by the police officer. Versus this kid literally raped a woman that was unconscious. He was literally having sex with her in public, in the open, basically. Like, people saw what was going on, and that's how this whole thing even comes about.
Right.
And he gets 6 months in jail?
It's crazy.
What is going on in America?
Well,
while we're popping champagne for the Cleveland Cavaliers and rightfully so. 52 years is a long drought. But we got to start having real conversations
about real issues.
And not being solely distracted by entertainment, by sports, because this is something that's real, and this is something
because it's going to happen to anybody.
That's what I was. That's what I was trying to say. If this was your sister, daughter, wife, girlfriend, all of a sudden it would be a much bigger deal. That's why I felt compelled to even speak on it right now, because I am not down. I'm not down.
No,
I'm not down. I'm not down with the silence. On this one, I'm with the I don't know if it was Nelson Mandela or Martin Luther King, that the injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, quote, because that's what it is.
Well, this is a social standard now that you can hold people to social ransom, but it seems that nobody wants to pick up real issues. We're too worried about the Kardashians and what Kanye West said and all this kind of stuff instead of worrying about all the stuff that the police are doing to people and everything else. This judge who gave this kid 6 months, I mean, he needs to check himself.
No, somebody needs to check him.
Yeah, but there's nobody to check him.
This is the problem. There needs to be a checks and balances, just like with the police oversight, just like with everything, that the government needs to and that's what our job is as the people, is to check the government. A guy is having sex with an unconscious girl.
And you said in public.
In public, behind a dumpster, and then he went to water polo practice.
He has a serious character issue. Maybe they can fix that in the institution of prison. But the problem,
they're not gonna fix that, because our prison isn't about rehab. You know, but I'm just offering the question. I don't even necessarily have an answer. I just wanted to put these kind of to have this conversation, because this is absurd, man. This is absurd. I remember being in college. I went to San Jose State, and I remember being on college, and they had blue lights phones all over campus, that if you were in danger, and there had to be one at least every 100 or 200 yards or so while you were walking, if you were in danger, you could pick up the phone and it would call campus police. And even if you just picked up the phone and took it off of the hook, campus police would come to that area. And I remember thinking to myself, man, why? I always thought that was for for fights or for like somebody, you know what I mean? Like violence breaking out or something like that. And you come to find it was primarily to dissuade this kind of violence, this kind of, nonsense.
But it's still happening.
Nonstop. I mean, it's really disturbing.
What's disturbing is that it's happening usually by people that you might trust the person, and you put yourself in a situation with this guy, and he actually has ulterior motives. Not in that situation, but most part. Because, most of the women know the person who's actually raped them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, this is heavy stuff.
It is.
Heavy, heavy stuff. So, moving on, last piece I want to speak on is we got a big fight coming up this weekend, actually.
Who's laying hands?
I think Keith One-Time Thurman is going to lay hands. It's Keith Thurman versus Sean Porter. The fight got rescheduled based on Thurman hurt his hand. And so they just rescheduled this fight for this Saturday, June 25th. Sean Porter is 26-1-1. I think Keith Thurman is something like 24-0. Keith Thurman is 26-0 with 22 knockouts, and it's going to be on Showtime Boxing. This is
who are you taking? I'm
taking One Time, and I like Sean Porter a lot. I met his dad.
Yeah,
a very
nice guy.
Very impressive men, both of them. Mm-hmm. And truth be told, I can't call it because I just like Thurman. I think that potentially, I think Porter's a better boxer, but I think Thurman has a height and reach advantage. But you know what? Sean he's relentless, man. He's kind of like, in a lot of ways, he's kind of like Joe Frazier. He's always coming at you. He applies a lot of pressure.
I'm taking Porter.
And if you remember, he beat the crap out of Adrian Broner.
Right, because, you're talking about a slugger versus a finesse guy, and he's a boxer. I'm taking a boxer.
There you go. I'm really interested to see what's happening. I feel like Thurman doesn't fight often enough. He's in that Al Haymon camp, but I think that he's somebody who can really make some noise. And again, we got that welterweight division that's just deep, man. There's a lot of guys out there. I'd really like them to do a round robin so they can really just mix it up. So there it is, folks. We have another spirited edition of the Ozone. This one was extra spirited because we can say, told ya!
Go Cavs.
Man, wow. King James is on his throne. Man, oh man. What you gonna do? Wow. What do you got to say to the fans about your prediction of the Cavaliers?
Just listen. Listen, and you won't be led astray.
All right, Ozone. It's been real. Leave you with a nice quote from an author I love, a pastor named Chuck Swindoll. He said, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. Live well, folks. We'll see you next week. Ozone.
Peace.